I have a background in industrial design. Ended up in this place here, which is called Floating Goose Studios, which is a bit more of an art space. The computer does feature heavily in most of my work. It's usually one of my starting points, and that probably comes from my industrial design and product design background. I like to include a bit of colour and a bit of theatre that makes things a bit more interesting. Very much, that technical side is eye for detail, often gets me in trouble because you go too deep and you go too far. Early on, I'm always carrying over those themes of playfulness and fun.
And the house we live in has a large glass window out to a balcony, and it was sitting in proximity, and through predominantly the winter months when the sun was lower, it was getting a lot of sun through that glass, and just the veneer that was put on by the manufacturer warped. When I was matched with Barry, I looked on the website and had a look at what he was doing, and thought, there's some interesting pieces here. I could end up with something very fruity.
And of course, a speaker. It's one of these last big, grandiose type items. It's this bit of excess that you have around the home, which deserves a bit of presence and has this weight about it. Speakers, I don't want to touch this very much. I want to preserve the quality of the speaker, and that even includes drilling in or cutting out too much of the wood. I know that they're specific thicknesses for a reason. I like to think there's a bit of iconic Australia in there. There's that deal with, okay, we've got light, we've got sun, it's causing troubles. Bit of just a hint of sails and beach and Australiana in there. Let's put something up that shades the speaker from that damaging sun.
We asked him a bit about my job and what I do, and we're a recycling company. He talked about inspiration and some of the ideas that that I had. And I talked about whether it could use other materials that were, instead of them going to waste or fill, that could be reused.
The wood fins, the wooden profile, they're from some old solid wood shelves from an old shelving unit that was going out for hard rubbish. So there's that story there of saving those and waiting for the right moment to use in this project right here. But also in the back of my mind, I'm also like, is there another story sort of hidden there of, okay, this was 30 years, maybe there's another 30 years before that where someone took them from something else. Those stories become part of the new object.
I mean, the fins, for me, that's really cool, because in the old days with amplifiers and whatnot, you always had, fins sticking out of them for cooling properties, so I think it's very smart.
One of the things I really like about this work is the synergy that sort of arrived from the first prototype that I did with the fins at the angle, was that light and shadow became such an important part of this work. And then you think back to, it was light and sunlight which was causing the problem. And then light and shadow is part of the solution, is nice encompassing tale, I think, and story of the final work.